Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-dow!
Yeah, here we are.
Oh, man.
We went over the 100 episode marker.
Cue the clapping noises. Yeah, woo, woo.
I never understood why people did that, like when they were pretending to hit like a home run as a little kid, and they do, the crowd goes round. And it's like a real quiet, reserved one. If the crowd's going wild, you should just
a lot
scream
louder
it.
than that.
Yeah, that's like golf crowd.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The snaps
welcome to American Brews and Tunes. My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
Thank you all for joining us. As you may be aware, last week was episode number 100.
Yeah.
We talked about our top five albums that we have each reviewed
Albums so far.
over the course of this podcast.
Yeah, over the course of 100 episodes.
It's been good. And for episodes that we would consider repeating numbers, like episode 22 or 33.
Or 99.
Yeah. We sometimes do repeating albums per se. And I'm not really sure that 101 is a repeating number.
I think 111 is, but then you'd
111
only get
definitely.
But then you'd only get one in terms of in the 100s.
Yeah, it would just be 111.
Then you have to count like 122 as repeating as well.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know. We'll just say that this is a repeater because it's a palindrome of a number.
Yeah, 101 and 101.
We're repeating. I know that we have reviewed Paris in the past.
Yes.
So why not review an album by the guy who's from Paris, Zach Quinn?
Yeah.
And this band is Bandaid Brigade.
The crowd goes wild.
It is their only release, their debut release, I'm Separate.
Yes.
Released earlier this year. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a pretty good album. We're just going to do this nice little one-off here, so we're both going to be talking about it.
Yeah. It's a fantastic album.
Yeah, I think so, too.
If you guys know who Zach Quinn is, you know the band Pears, you know it's a very hardcore, like melodic metal type music.
And this is not hardcore.
No, it is not at all.
Appreciate the chord structures and melodies of Paris, then you would like this.
Definitely.
But before we get into that, let's get into some beer.
Yeah, why not?
And I believe it was episode 100 where we had Counting Sheep 1.
Was it?
I'm pretty close to almost being positive.
Okay. Well, if that is true, then this week we are having the second version of that.
Which is called...
You'll never guess what it's called. It's called Counting Sheep 2.
Yes, it is. A very appropriately titled, apropos
title to another beer named Counting Sheep.
Yeah. I can confirm right now that we had Counting Sheep on episode 100, Counting Sheep 1.
Okay.
So for 101, why not have Counting Sheep 2?
Why not?
And do you know what the difference is between Counting Sheep 1 and Counting Sheep 2?
Why don't you tell me about Counting Sheep 1?
I shall. Here's what our favorite social media beer drinking app, Untapped.
Says, not a sponsor, but they totally should be.
Not a sponsor. But here's what the details say, as put in by Bearded Iris themselves.
Yes.
Counting Sheep 1, an interplanetary exchange aged 12 months in Weller Special Reserve bourbon barrels. Oh. I love Weller. What a great bourbon. Mm-hmm. Then conditioned with Costa Rican coffee, roasted by Chromaco, salted caramel, or as some might say, caramel, Tahitian and Madagascar bourbon vanillas, and milk sugar.
Wow.
So, I mean, not only does it sound good, but we have tasted it, and we can confirm that it tastes
very good.
really good. Yeah. Clocked in at a whopping 10% IBUs.
Yeah. That is where Counting Sheep 2 is similar. It also clocks in at 10%.
Oh, yeah?
But Counting Sheep 2 and Otherworldly interaction ages 12 months in Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels as opposed to
a different bourbon. The other one was Weller. Weller bourbon is a wheated bourbon, so that's a little bit more, a little softer.
Okay.
Buffalo Trace
is a bit more harsh.
Buffalo Trace is like a more traditional bourbon where they would have rye as well.
Okay, gotcha.
So it'll have a little bit. It wouldn't be as soft. It would be a little harsher, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
But after it spends 12 months in the Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels, it is then conditioned with copious Ceylon cinnamon, maple, Madagascar, bourbon, vanilla, and milk sugar. I was about to switch the U of sugar and the I of milk, so I was like, going to say milk sugar.
That'd be a weird one. So it's pretty similar, other than the bourbon barrels, and then this one has cinnamon and maple.
Yeah,
and they don't have Tahitian.
Tahitian, yeah.
No, just the Madagascar.
Just the Madagascar bourbon vanilla.
I'm not sure that I'd be able to tell you the differences, but
probably not. I know I wouldn't be able to.
We probably will be able to taste the cinnamon and maple. And there was no coffee in this one, as there was in the other one.
Yeah. So why don't we give this a try here before we start talking about Bandaid Brigade?
And the other one was a pretty good color. And as we know from a lot of the stouts that we get from Bearded Iris, they're usually pretty darn decadent.
Yes.
As we all know, Bearded Iris, local Nashville brewery, prides themselves in cultivating variety, even though we think they cultivate a lot of IPAs.
They definitely cultivate a lot of New England style IPAs.
I jest, because they're probably one of the best breweries in Nashville. Everything they do, I think they do to the top of anyone's
top
ability.
Of their game.
Yeah, top of their game.
No, what's the phrase? No holds bar.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that a phrase?
It's something like that. No holds barred.
No holds bar. I think that's what it is. Anyway, if it's not, it's something to that degree where you don't hold back.
What would you say about the color on this beer?
It is just about the same color as the bottle, which is like dark brown or black.
It doesn't remind me as dark as like the what's the Evil Twin? Some of their crazy,
like
crazy
the really,
ones.
really dark, really malty, and really sweet ones.
But
this still is
dark.
Quite dark.
Yeah, it's got a nice little lacing of a head left over.
Yeah.
Kind of a dark.
It's not as dark. Tan. It's not as dark of a tan as I thought it was going to be, though. Yeah. I thought it'd be a lot darker of a tan. On the nose, you get a lot of good sense, though.
I think the cinnamon is there.
Yeah, you can definitely smell the cinnamon.
Because on the other one, I know you definitely got the coffee flavors and the caramel. Mm-hmm. It was really caramely.
Right. Yeah. I think you'll probably get a pretty good bit of cinnamon and the maple.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see the difference here.
Same.
What say you that we go ahead and give this a cheers and give it a try?
Let's do it.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes, down the 101 hatch. It's sweet. It is very sweet.
Ooh, doggy. That is very sweet.
Borderline too much sweet. I mean, I'm not going to say it's over the top, but I was not expecting this. Maybe maybe it's because of the first taste.
It could be. We've realized this recently whenever we're trying stronger beers or even sampling stronger whiskeys. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to, your mouth has to get used to drinking it before you can kind of get some flavors out of it.
That and at least for beer, we got to wait for it to warm up before it opens up flavor-wise. But you're right. And I remember not this past year, but the prior year when we were waiting in line for Bearded Iris's, was it the second anniversary or third? Whatever it was last year in 2019. We got those other barrel-aged beers. One was a stout. The other, I believe, was a strong ale. But they both were barrel-aged or a barley wine, whatever it was.
It was a barley wine, yeah.
Those ones weren't really that sweet. I don't know if you remember. No. You got a lot more of the bourbon barrel flavored. Right. It was a really good catalyst for that bourbon flavor. This one, more sweet.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It definitely is.
I think that's what they're going for with all the flavors they added here.
Yeah, on like the front, like the first little wave that hits you is that kind of sweetness with the vanilla. And then as it kind of sits in your mouth for a while, you really get that caramel, not caramel, maple flavor.
Oh, yeah.
It almost has a similar like consistency or texture as like syrup, like maple syrup.
Yeah, this would be really good on a delicious waffle.
Yeah, like not the Aunt Jemima or like that kind of syrup where it's like kind of processed, but like the actual
pure
maple syrup.
Yeah, natural.
You're getting a lot of that flavor in here. And I think the cinnamon only comes in a slight bit. Not as much as I thought it was going to.
Not as much as the caramel did on the first counting sheet. But this is really good. I do get that lactose sugar in the end. You get that a little bit of that creaminess. Mm-hmm. I always knew that lactose sugar kind of gave it a sweetness and a creaminess, but I didn't know why. I was watching this awesome video on YouTube called like All Beer Types Explained or something. It was like an hour and 10-minute long video where this guy just talked about beer types. He was a what are they called? Not a sommelier. He was a Cicerone. That's
Cicerone,
what,
yeah.
He was a Cicerone. And he talked about milk stouts, and he talked about how the yeast in beer cannot process or ferment the lactose sugars.
Really?
So that remains. It doesn't get processed the way that
that a normal sugar would?
The sugars from a malt, the malt barleys, and that gets processed. So that's why it remains. Interesting.
That's why it kind of leaves a lingering note of that sweet creaminess.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's all in the yeast.
That's pretty cool.
Anyways, like we always do on American Brews and Tunes, as the beer warms up, the flavors will probably kind of change or open up. We'll let you know if that's the case. Otherwise, shall we delve into the music?
We shall. We shall delve into this crazy album.
Yeah, it's a really different album. Like we said before, the album's called I'm Separate by the band Bandaid Brigade.
Yep.
So I'll give just a little timeline of history for how this band came to be.
Okay.
It was announced in February of 2019 that Zach Quinn, like we said from Pears, had teamed up with Brian Wallstrom. He's from the band Gods of Mount Olympus, who I've never actually listened to.
Neither have I.
But he's also in Scorpios with Joey Cape, used to be Tony Sly,
Yeah.
a couple other people.
Fat Mike, isn't that right?
Not Fat Mike. Chris Cresswell now is.
Oh, right.
And, what's that one guy's name? Who did the Buddies album with Frank Turner? John Snodgrass.
Oh, yeah. Yep. John Snodgrass, yep.
But they announced that they were joining up and being a new band called Bandaid Brigade, which I was pretty excited about because I like Zach Quinn.
Yeah.
He had done a solo record with Joey Cape.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Zach Quinn.
And not only did he do a solo album with Joey Cape, but Brian Wallstrom did too.
Mm-hmm. So right. I forgot that he did as well.
They were 1 Week Records alumni, and they had toured together. So I think I read it in interviews where they said that they toured together, they became friends, and they just started writing together.
Yeah.
So makes sense. Awesome. Natural progression. They released their first song, Travel Light, in June of 2019. So that's like almost like a half year after they announced that they were a band.
Yeah.
There was a long gap of time. And there was a music video that came along with it. Yeah. I don't know if you watched it, but I
think I did. I watched it today.
Doing like a spin class.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's goofy.
It's a super goofy video.
But this was our first taste of what Bandaid Brigade would sound like, and it's like 80s pop.
Yeah, and like whenever the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, this is going to be great. Zach Quinn, full band, like a different band. Yeah. And then I heard it, and I was like, there's like this yeah.
And you're like, what?
Like there's piano, there's like this really like there's like not much distortion on the guitar, and then the melody is like really, like you said, like 80s, like melodic.
Dancey drums.
Yeah, like really dancey, yeah.
It threw me off, but in a good way. I was super excited to hear what was to come.
Definitely.
Finally, they announced that they were going to release a full-length album, and it came out on January 21st, 2020. So almost a full year after they announced that they were a band.
Yep.
Great way to start a very strange year.
Yeah.
But all throughout that like album rollout cycle, I don't know if you paid attention to. Did you follow them on Instagram or anything?
I think I only recently followed them on Instagram.
So they were consistently putting out all kinds of weird videos,
all kinds of like weird
and content.
Videos.
Yeah, just
funny.
Weird things that like one where they were close talking to each other or not.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Really goofy videos. So they were doing that. They were touring quite a bit even before the album came out.
Right, yeah, they were.
And Zach Quinn was doing a Pears record.
Right.
So it was
at the same time, yeah.
They were pretty busy. But all the stuff that they put out kind of gave me a really good laugh. They posted this one thing that I took a screenshot of. I want to read for you.
Okay.
The first thing that they posted was an email from some record label executive.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that.
It was a response, and they blacked out the to and from, so you can't see who it is, but it says, "Hi there. Thank you for your email. I checked out some of the tracks, and it's really not my thing, nor a good fit for the record label. I would also mention that congratulating a label for receiving an email from a band they've never heard of is definitely the wrong thing to say. All the best in your search for a label." And then eventually they posted out the email that they sent to the label. Did you read that too?
Mm.
Well, here's the email that they sent to the label. And it came from both of them. It says, "Dear blank, my name is Zach and Brian." And then there's a picture of them just like sitting and giving a goofy smile. And it says, "Copyright 2012 Bandaid or 2019 Bandaid Brigade. I recently had the absolute pleasure of writing and recording a visionary album which documents the history, present, and future of rock and roll to come. Bandaid Brigade, I'm Separate. Now, of course, I considered many record labels for distribution, but have since painstakingly over several months analyzed and narrowed down to a healthy top echelon. So first, congratulations. If you only knew the scrutiny you've survived to get here, you'd be as proud as I am. Next paragraph, spacebar. They typed that out. Also.
Really?
Yeah. First, we'd like to establish some preliminary guidelines. We require one, and then in parentheses it has the number 1, photograph of the listener both prior and subsequently listening to enclosed album. Be sure to read and agree to the NDA below. So I guess they were trying to keep everything a secret. And then there's a picture of like a boardroom looking lawyers all staring at him. So you're enjoying the email. What happens next? Then they posted a link for the Travel Light music video. And at the very end it says, due to the overwhelming calls and text received regarding this album, it's imperative that you respond via email only. Once you're ready to get in touch with us about how to proceed, please contact me by simply replying to this email. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I await your response via email. That's which is Zach and Brian. So they're
goofing around a lot.
It sounds like they legitimately sent that out, though.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's
hilarious.
It's goofy. I just think they're very, very good. And I had sent this to Jesse, so I'm just going to let you guys know as well. If you want a good taste of their sense of humor, watch their live sessions. If you go on YouTube and you type in Bandaid Brigade live at Black and Bloom, that's spelled BLUHM. It's got a good kind of combination of the live session. I think they do like 4 songs, maybe 3 or 4 songs.
3 or 4 songs.
And there's some interviews spliced in there.
Yeah, some interviews with them. Yep.
Yeah, and it's all
really funny,
goofy.
Same type of humor in that.
Yeah, and they were going to continue
playing
touring,
shows and whatnot.
Never happened.
Weren't they going to come to Nashville?
Yeah, they had a contact us section on their website.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll contact them. So I sent them an email. I said, your album's really good. I said, Becca was my fiance at the time. I am now married. Woo!
Yeah.
But I said, my fiance loves the Butt Train song. Hope you guys come to Nashville. Love, Steven. And they respond. They were like, oh, thanks so much. Glad you enjoy it. Our plan is to come to Nashville in July if this thing clears up.
Yeah.
Clearly, it did not. Not even close.
Did not clear up.
Yeah. But
at all, which is very unfortunate. But
everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
At least we have the album to listen to.
At least we have music and beer.
Yes. All in one place, American Beers and Tunes.
Yeah.
Anyways, shall we delve into the album?
Yes.
I'm Separate by Bandaid Brigade. All right, the very first song is called Everything.
Everything.
It is my first recommendation for sure.
It's definitely a fantastic song.
From the faded in intro through to the end where he repeats everything, 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 and everything in between, I think this is my favorite song on the whole record.
Interesting.
Not to say that there's not going to be good songs to come because the rest of the record is good. This just happens to be my favorite.
Okay.
I really think it's a really cool chord progression. Like I learned the chord progression.
Fantastic progression, yeah.
Took me a minute to nail down, but once I did, I was like, ooh, I wouldn't have thought of this chord to put here. Oh, this, ooh, very cool. But it's awesome. I love in the chorus when the drums go to halftime, but the guitar stays in the same chugging palm mute. It's just a really cool combination. It sounds really good. I don't know. Not entirely sure what he's singing about, and this is going to be the case for almost every song on this record.
Yeah.
I think they use a lot of metaphors, and they're vague enough about what they're talking about. But I'm just going to go on a limb and say it's about...
everything.
Everything, and you're going to lose everything at some point. Like, everything's temporal.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much what he's saying.
And I think that's going to be a theme that pops up time and time again.
Yeah, the one line that I like is when they, especially melodically, he says, "Stay hypnotized, don't realize you haven't what you have in time."
Yeah.
I don't really get you haven't what you have in time, but
over time, what you have changes, I think.
Yeah. But I like the stay hypnotized, don't realize. It almost seems like...
realize.
Yeah.
And there's great harmonies over that.
It kind of seems like what he's saying is like, it's easier to... ignorance is bliss. Is almost like would be a synonym for that.
Makes sense. Because you're hypnotized, yeah. Awesome song, though. Great start to the album. You get the guitar, the piano. And it's just a fun production. Moving on to track number 2, which is called Travel Light. And this was that first single I talked about where they had the music video where he's on the spin class. It's real goofy, but they definitely changed sound here.
Yeah, this is where the first time we hear Brian sing, right?
Yes.
Brian Wallstrom.
It's got the 80s synth pop, but the way that the guitar plays, it's almost like 70s disco.
Yeah.
Because it's playing syncopated and it's got that weird clean sound to it. Mm-hmm. So it's a weird combination of genres kind of blended in here. Really, really catchy song. If you were going to pick one song on this album to dance to, I guarantee it's this one.
Yeah.
Throughout. It's just super, super catchy. But yeah, Brian sings the verses.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zach sings the choruses. Nice back and forth between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not entirely sure what it's about. But I think it's similar where you lose everything and all you have is yourself. Like, I travel lightly with my body on my back.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the kind of the resounding line from the whole song.
Yeah. And I guess it is worth mentioning that right before this, I think Brian had a separation and a divorce. Mm-hmm. I think that might have had... I know he said for sure there's one song on here that's definitely about his divorce, but I bet you there's some sprinkled in with the rest of it.
Yeah, sprinkled everywhere else in it. I would assume so.
Moving on to another different song. Track number 3 is called Attila. And I don't think they mean Attila the Hun. Let's get down to business. Yeah.
Have you seen the live action Mulan yet?
I have not.
I haven't, and I don't really plan on it because apparently it's terrible.
I haven't heard. I was never that interested in it to begin with.
Yeah.
Not because for any reason. It just didn't spark my interest. Mm-hmm. But we have Disney Plus, and that's where it went to. But
it still costs $30.
Yeah,
to buy it.
$30. What the heck? If you're gonna put it on Disney Plus, make it included. Don't.
Yeah.
if you're gonna charge the $30, just put it on video on demands.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to make up for like it not being in theaters.
If that's the case, then just wait and release it in theaters. Yeah. That's what you're gonna do.
But apparently, did you hear about everything that they changed in it?
No.
Like they took
I heard
out.
There's no Mushu.
They took out Mushu, yeah, which is one of the best parts.
Yeah, I love Mushu.
And they gave Mulan like magical powers.
Interesting.
Or something like that. Something really weird. But anyway, enough about...
I'll still watch it whenever it comes to Disney Plus regular streaming. I don't want to pay $30.
Yeah, not going to pay $30 to watch it.
No, if you have a family of 5, that's
maybe
a good price. Because think about it. If you video on demand $30 for like 5 people versus 5 movie tickets.
Yeah, because
good deal then.
Especially if you go to a night show, it's probably like $12 per ticket.
Yeah, it's absurd.
So...
but Attila, anyway, we're talking about this song.
back to Bandaid Brigade.
This song is less upbeat and happy sounding, and I would say this is more of like an alt rock song. It's way different sounding than the last two, and way different than some of the songs to come.
Yeah,
almost grungy, but not really. And again, confusing thematically.
Yeah,
lyrically, he sings about like being on an asteroid and on a different planet, like coming towards Earth, like as a meteor. But I think that's a metaphor for him personally. Like it seems like he talks about how he let people down. And he's trying to make it up somehow. So I think there's some metaphors for him as a person being on a different planet.
Yeah.
You can read into it however you want it. He might mean something different. That's just seems to be the
general idea behind the song. Yeah.
It's a good song though.
Yeah, I like it. I like the next song a little bit better, though.
I do, too. Track number 4.
Stay busy.
Stay busy.
Stay busy.
It's good for me. It's good for you. But that's not how the song starts. I think the song has a really kind of cool and somewhat complex arrangement. The beginning is slow. Like the first 2/3 of the song is real slow and kind of like drags and creeps along. But it's really got a really tight groove.
It really does.
But like 2/3 of the way into it, it morphs into another 80s song.
Yeah.
The tempo, the beat, and the feel completely changes, but the chorus stays the same. Like if you didn't know it was the same song, you would just hear the two different sections separately. You'd say, these are two separate songs. Not even close.
You wouldn't think to put them together if you just heard them separately.
But it's cool. And once the song changes, there's like pan flutes or like a recorder, just some kind of fluty instrument in the background, and then a saxophone comes in, and you're like,
oh yeah,
whoa.
You're like, huh?
If you listen to some good headphones, you can really pick out all these cool instruments in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
Really cool sounding. Again, thematically, I mean, they talk about standing still is bad. Like he says, standing still will crush your creature's will. So you got to keep moving, and I'm sure I'm not going out on too much of a limb here, saying that they mean like keep moving as a person and growing. Because if you stay still, no, you can't grow. Like it's bad.
Being stagnant is never really a good thing for anybody to be or to do.
Yeah. Instead of standing still, you should travel light.
Oh, I just remember the melody for a part of it. And even brick and mortar won't
Amen, brick
protect
and mortar won't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool song.
Completion is a timeless lie, but I'm not lying down.
But I'm not lying. It's almost like a swing.
Yeah.
Like a swing beat almost on that second portion of the song.
Yeah. I really like that song.
That's a cool one.
Whenever it gets to the stay busy part, I always just jam out to it.
It's good for you.
Stay busy. Yeah.
Really cool song.
It's great.
Let's move on to another different sounding song. Track number 5 is called Treat Me Like a Christmas Tree, and it's my honorable mention.
Your HM.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, it's a metaphor about treating somebody like a Christmas tree.
Exactly what it sounds like, yeah.
But I mean, he goes in depth. Like he talks about being uprooted from your home and proudly, yet briefly on display until you're thrown out and collected with the trash.
Yep, and this is Zach Quinn singing again.
I don't know if it's about a personal experience, but or if he's just writing about that because he was inspired by Christmas Tree. Who knows?
Maybe he's writing about playing shows.
Could be. Very well could be, because that makes sense too.
It's like people, he goes
you
to
love
one
them for a
place
minute.
and it's like, oh, like, like crazy.
And
then once people are done with the show, they just like forget.
Yeah, and you're alone in a van.
Yeah. Yeah. What doesn't he talks about? I wake up in the road.
Yeah. I just figured that was like people throw their Christmas trees on the road, but that could also be a metaphor for being on the road after a show. I didn't think about that.
It is really interesting thinking about comparing yourself to a Christmas tree. Gingerly you cut me down, adorned, displayed, I feel proud.
Yeah.
The briefest of all symphonies. Fragments of hard time, I'm bound. Sorry. Yeah. I'm just reading the lyrics off. But yeah, that's a really interesting sounding song.
It sounds cool. Like the verses are my favorite because it's got that driving rhythm and it's got the palm muted bass, which you don't hear too often. But it sounds really cool. My favorite part in the song is after the first chorus and they go into the second verse. It's got that where you get that syncopated, almost Latino sounding drum beat out of nowhere, and it just sounds so cool. And then it kind of goes back to normal as the verse kicks off.
For sure.
But somebody took some time to arrange that part, and it's really cool. Mm-hmm. Moving on to another 80s pop song. Track number 6 is called Losing Light. I could imagine this as like a Huey Lewis deep cut almost. Like not as poppy as like Hip to Be Square.
Yeah.
And if you add a little bit more rock sound, that's kind of like this.
In that same general vein, though.
Yeah. It's got this really, really nice big chorus.
Yeah.
And coming out of the bridge later on in the song, the chorus pops in a cappella like. You hear all the harmonies. It's really nice.
Yep.
Don't stop living, don't stop forgiving, but I'm tired of losing light. Mm-hmm. And I think they changed keys to hit that major note at the end of when he says losing light. I'm not going to do a analysis of it, but I'm pretty sure there's either a borrowed chord or something a little different in there.
Yeah, probably a borrowed chord.
Cool. And I've said this about other people who are piano players, but when you hear music written by an accomplished pianist, and he's also a classically trained singer, I feel like they have a pretty good grasp on music theory, and they would write things that you typically wouldn't hear in popular music.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of cool to hear that. I think this also could have to do about his divorce.
Could be, yeah.
Like there's one line, the more you explain, the less I know. It's a fool's campaign not to let you go. Empty drawers and picture frames. But it still sounds positive. Because he, like later on in the song, he's like, I won't stop now.
Yeah, the chorus when he says, don't stop living, don't stop forgiving.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of losing light. But yeah.
So, could be about his divorce. Now. I don't know.
Another fantastic song, though.
Yeah. And then we really changed pace on track number 7.
A very different sounding song.
Track number
probably
7?
The most different sounding on the album.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Unless you count the last song. But
called I Think It's Going to Rain Today.
Yeah.
Just Brian's vocals and an electric keyboard.
The melody is really interesting in this song, though.
Yes, it really. Well, everything's interesting.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that is because the melody is almost like hymnal in some ways.
Yeah, I think you were right. I'd never thought about that.
It's not hymnal as in like where there's like certain chunks that you go through, like verse, chorus.
Yeah.
But like the general structure of the melody seems very hymnal to me. I'm not sure if that's what Brian was going for in this song, but that's kind of what I get out of it.
It very well could be. It's really kind of a dismal and melancholic song.
It's actually pretty much the only line that reminds me of that is when he says, "Human kindness is overflowing." Like that specific
And
one.
I think it's going to rain today. When you get to the bridge, though, you hit some weird,
some
dissonant
really
chords.
weird, like almost seems like pointillism type stuff.
I think that's his music theory background coming in.
Yeah,
some of the weird modern stuff.
Yeah,
but it's really kind of a nice break in the album.
Definitely, I like that song.
But we go back to the somewhat of their sound, because their sound's all over the place, so I hesitate to say their sound. With the next song, track number 8, it's called Holding Steady. It's my second recommendation.
Good one.
It's another kind of chugging or driving song with the steady palm mute, like
yeah.
And there's that one electric guitar. And every time I hear that, I go, ooh. But it's a really, really awesome sounding song.
Yeah.
Similar to the drums in Treat Me Like a Christmas Tree. You get the syncopated drums on the chorus here. On the holding steady.
Yeah.
We'll make you ready for the atom bomb. Again, metaphors here. Atom bombs. They talk about the cloud confetti.
End of the world.
So I'm not entirely sure what they're saying. But I think it's similar themes about keeping moving. Like holding steady won't make you ready for the atom bomb. So maybe keep moving. I don't know. I'm just trying to make connections where there might or might not be some.
Right.
Really, really catchy song, though.
I like the line, "Ageless, the devil at the doorstep is contagious, peddling novellas missing pages."
Yeah.
I like that line.
Missing pages. Really, really cool sounding.
Another kind of reference to ignorance is bliss. In a way.
The Matrix.
Ooh.
And the Matrix is like a computer program, and a lot of computers are made of grid. Let's move on to track number 9, Break the Grid, my last recommendation.
Oh, it's a fantastic song.
This is, I would say, probably my second favorite song on the record. It's really, really cool. I would say an 80s rock song is what it sounds like to me.
100%.
It's got that pulsing keyboard. And then the guitar comes in. Bam, 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 bam. Every time I hear it, I just want to like run up the rocky stairs or like jog a couple miles in a sweat, like a tracksuit.
In a tracksuit.
I want to have a montage to this.
Like
it's an awesome sounding song.
It really is. It's so fantastic.
It's really catchy. Other than the catchiness and how great the song is written, more metaphors, which I don't know what they mean entirely. Is it a love song? I think maybe.
Probably.
Wish I could be the man that would turn it off. I'd break the grid for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Or maybe he's saying there's things that he can't do. So I don't know. It's hard to say what he means. Because, again, with Zach Quinn and with Pears, I don't know as much for Brian Wallstrom, but for Zach Quinn, his writing can be very vague and rich in metaphors.
Yeah, it definitely can be, and I feel like this song probably is. Because, I mean, I'm assuming that like when he says, "I'd break the grid for you," like he would, is he talking about like an electrical grid?
Could be.
So would he like...
Or the grid of normality?
Would he like destroy a bunch of stuff for whoever he's talking about?
Could be.
You know?
Or like if you're on a grid, like you're on a system, like everything's moving
in a
as it should be, I would disrupt everything for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but that's what I think of at least.
Good song, though.
Yeah. Let's move on to the penultimate track, which is called Nothing Matters.
Nothing Matters.
I think this sounds like one of Zach Quinn's solo songs.
I could definitely see that.
He hits those soft vocals and some of the falsettos in the verses.
Yeah.
It starts off
on his
so
solo
soft.
album, he has a lot of more singing like that.
And you don't hear that on Pears too often. Every once in a while, but his
Only
solo
like
record.
a couple songs, I think.
Maybe in the first chorus of Green Star.
In Green Star, yeah.
I love that song. But this is a really slow burn of a song, and it really crescendos beautifully, I think.
Yeah, it does. It's a fantastic song, though.
My soul and tender and fee fi fo fum it always matters. Like it's a really, really cool way how the melody flows through the song.
Yeah.
Very well written. I think that in this song he's trying to convince himself that people and others, or like emotions and relationships, always matter. Like it's something that he has a hard time understanding.
Yeah.
But at the end of the song, he resigns himself to believing that nothing matters. And he repeats that. It's a lie that he learned to love, is what he says. But I really like, I think it's the last, it might be the bridge. I really don't know how the song's structured. It's kind of a strange structure. But he says, I lost both my arms in the quest for a hug. I cannot embrace, just perpetually shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's pretty vibrant imagery. I'm just imagining a dude with no arms like trying to hug somebody. Oh,
just moving their shoulders.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, it crescendos, has a huge climax, and then it ends very softly. Good song.
Really fantastic song.
Could be the end of an album.
It could be, but
we move on to the song Nothing.
Why not add another song at the end of it?
The last song, Nothing, begins with a solo piano chord melody, I guess you could call it. And they're playing the chords and melody to the first song, Everything. And it's really nice. Like, it's kind of like haunting and beautiful. And like, ooh, this brings it full circle.
Yeah.
And then it ends real slowly, and you don't hear anything. And then you hear, it sounds like he lets go of the foot lever on the piano. What do you call that? The sustain thing? Pedal? Sustain pedal,
yeah.
So if you've ever done that on a piano, if you let go, it kind of gives like a weird noise. And you hear that. And then it sounds like Brian says, that one will do. And you're like, okay. And you're like, I guess that's the album. Nope. A 12-bar blues guitar comes in. And you hear Zach Quinn's weathered and smoky voice saying, This is a song from
bayou.
Deep in the bayou, handed down from generation to generation of alligator men and swamp men. It's like
all this really goofy, weird stuff.
First time I heard it, I was like, what is going on? Because there's no jokes in the whole album until here.
Except for this song.
It's like deadly serious. Even though like they joke all on their Instagram page, and then you hear this song, you're like, what in the world? So you're like, maybe it's going to be some traditional song.
Yeah.
And then
maybe it actually will be like a folk song handed down from generation to generation.
Because it almost sounds like that. And then you hear him say, riding on the butt train. And you know that this is not a traditional song.
Oh, it's so good.
This song is hilarious.
Yeah, it really is.
I think it was, I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been on, there was like when they were doing a bunch of live streams at the beginning of quarantine and lockdown. Joey Cape's 1 Week Records did one. It was like 2 hours long, and maybe it was like 20 people each did 2 songs apiece.
Okay, yeah.
In his very last song, he did this, and his grandma was dancing in the background. Or his Mima, I guess he calls her.
His Mima, yeah.
But I think he said that this was a song he had written a long time ago and never found the right place to record it.
And so he was just like, all right, this time it's going to be right here.
So they did it. The musicianship is really good. Like
it's fantastic. Like
later in the song, there's this awesome walking bass line that's just like, dun, 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 dun. It's just like, ooh. It's really
like
nice.
It's just a really goofy subject matter, but the song is really good though.
All about butts. I like when he goes, you smell that?
You smell that? It smells like gas.
Don't touch that. It stinks. What are you thinking about?
It's so stupid. It's hilarious.
It's kind of like a bonus track almost. Like,
yeah.
The lyrics aren't in the
they're not
the lyric
in
sheet
the
in the liner notes of the album. You can't find the lyrics online. There's almost no mention of it anywhere. Yeah, I've searched. I mean, you can, if you listen to it, it's pretty easy. He enunciates very well. You can hear all the words.
Yeah.
But you can't find them anywhere. So it's close to a bonus track, as I would say.
Just a little bonus, like a little secret track almost.
But I think it's fun.
That's hilarious.
A fun end to an awesome album.
The more and more I listen to this album and a lot of Zach Quinn's solo album and Pairs, the more I realize that like he is just a really good songwriter. Like a unique songwriter.
I'd say very unique because he, like Brian Wallstrom and a lot of piano players, comes up with chord progressions I would never think of.
Yeah.
They're not your standard 1, 5, 6, 4.
Yeah.
Or probably, I don't know, I haven't analyzed them, but I would say they're probably not even 1, 5, 1 chord progressions to a degree. They travel in weird ways that are really kind of rewarding if you delve into it.
Yeah, they definitely borrow chords. I mean, like for the stuff that we write, like we normally borrow the 6 of 5 or the 6 of 6, but like they definitely do some crazier stuff.
Yeah. And I don't even know that I'm borrowing chords. I'm just like, ooh, I know minor 4. I love going from the major to the minor 4. I want to say I borrow chord. I mean, I borrow that from Tony Sly.
The minor 4, yep.
Yeah, I love that. But
but that's one of my favorite progressions, though. It is. It works so well.
It is. It's so very good. Very pleasing to hear.
Yeah, it really is.
Every time I hear it,
it's almost a better resolution than a 5/7 to a 1.
Yeah, and I don't remember what that is off the top of my head, but I agree.
It's just you know what it is.
Oh, do you mean like a dominant 7?
Dominant 7.
Oh, yeah.
5/7. I just said 5/7.
Okay. I thought you meant like the 5th of the 7. I'm like,
no.
What in the world is that?
No, dominant 7. So from like B to E.
Yeah.
Or B7 to E, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, enough about chords.
Yeah, back to the end of this album. Like I said, I love it. If you'll recall, when we were doing our favorite albums that we listened to during quarantine, this was on my list.
Yeah, for sure.
Might have been the top one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this was definitely in my top 5 albums. I really hope they find a vaccine that works to this soon. So
Same.
Bands can start touring again.
Yeah.
Including Bandaid Brigade. I would love to see them live.
Same here.
I have no way to support them other than buying their music right now. Maybe buying a t-shirt. I don't know. I don't even know if they have t-shirts.
I don't know either. I would assume they maybe do.
Yeah, but I mean, bands are doing. Go ahead on bands' merch sites, buy stuff directly from them. If your favorite artist is doing a live stream where you can buy tickets, go ahead and buy some.
Mm-hmm. You know, just to help them out.
And the live music industry is suffering.
Yeah,
really bad right now. So
yeah,
I'd love to see it get back to full
to normal
for their sake and for my own selfish reasons too. Yeah. Obviously, can't hide that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
I definitely want to go to shows again. Definitely want to play shows again.
Absolutely. It's weird time.
Definitely is. But what's not weird is how good this beer is.
I was gonna say let's transition back to the beer, but you segued so nice. Yeah, it was too beautiful.
That's pretty much how either of us segues in anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of what's not weird,
it was perfect.
Speaking of the Matrix, which is a grid, on to the next song.
Well, you at least segued. I was about to say, let's go back to the beer. Yeah, I was gonna not bury the lead.
Oh man, but yeah, so it's warmed up quite a bit.
What do you think now that it's warmed up and we can fully taste it, as they say? Are you getting more notes? Are you getting different notes?
I'm getting a little bit less maple, a little bit more milk sugar.
Yeah, the cinnamon is still subdued. It's definitely there.
Still subdued, but
still sweet though. I'd say
the milk sugar is taking over the maple.
Yeah,
the maple's not gone. It's definitely still there, and it's definitely still good.
I'd say throughout when it was cold and when it's warmed up a little bit, it still has not tasted like 10%.
No, I actually forgot it was 10%.
In fact, this doesn't even taste like beer.
It tastes like a smoothie or something.
It doesn't taste like alcohol.
You could probably put like vanilla ice cream in this and it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, I would be totally fine with pouring this on a waffle or pancake or a French toast or any delicious breakfast food.
That'd be so great.
Yeah. When, was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Whenever it was at Craft Brewed for Black Friday, they were doing, while you're waiting for the tap room to open or the bottle shop to open, they had waffles and Founder's Breakfast Stout syrup.
Really?
It was really good.
Ooh,
yeah,
that sounds good.
I was like, don't put it in syrup. Just put the beer on the waffle. I'll be happy. It's a sweet, delicious stout.
Yes,
on the waffle. Anyways, looking forward to next week. I believe we're going to do another different one-off type, however you want to call it, episode.
Yeah.
We're going to do something that I think will be a fun one.
Yeah, it definitely will be fun.
Talking about everybody's favorite skateboarding video game soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
Yes.
Kind of a little homage / honor because they just re-released it.
Yeah, they just released the remastered versions of 1 and 2.
I wish they had it on Switch.
Yeah.
I have no way to play it. Are you going to get it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it yet. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to or not.
I think you should.
It would be fun to play
it.
It would definitely be fun to play it. It'd be really nostalgic.
Yeah. I've seen little videos of the gameplay.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes games are remastered and it doesn't look that different or really that good. But this one looks like
it looks really good,
completely different.
I know when they redid Zelda: Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, that one looked really good.
Yeah.
At least better than the N64 one. So this one for Tony Hawk looks light years beyond even that.
Maybe I won't get it. We'll see.
But we're going to be talking about the soundtrack. We're not going to be reviewing every single song, but we're going to be talking about our favorite songs,
our favorites,
and what they mean to us. Because I think that's a lot of people's first introduction to punk music or skate punk.
It definitely was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there have been some videos, like they interviewed Tony Hawk, and he even talked about that sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely I'd say a monumental album for the genre. And I think, did you go to the live show that Nashville Is the Reason put on, the tribute to Tony Hawk, or did you just?
I don't think so.
Did you just see the videos of it?
Did I go to that? Yeah, I did go to that.
I thought you did.
That was
because you sent me videos of it.
Yeah, we were there. I was there with Sam.
Yes,
I believe.
I wanted to go, but I don't know if I was out of town.
It was
or
good.
Something.
Yeah, it was really good. They played Superman, of course, and
maybe like it was a bunch of different local Nashville.
Yeah,
bands
there were a couple. There were like 3 or 4 different bands.
It's like a tribute to Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Yeah, it was, and you could play. They had a section set up where they had like N64s where you could play.
Oh, that's so cool.
The first game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But that'll be next week. The following week, we'll go back to our regular format where we each have a different album to review.
Yes.
And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we will.
If you want to reach out to us, give us questions, concerns, advice, or knowledge. If you want to recommend an album for us to review, we will literally review anything.
Literally.
Anything. Yeah. If it's a 2-hour-long concept album, or if it's
an EP,
20-minute pop record, we'll review
anything.
It. Just hit us up on any of the social medias. Look up American Brews and Tunes, or send us an email at americanbrewsandtunes@gmail.com. Anyways, my name is Steven Johnson.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
Am I supposed to say that, or do we drink the beer first?
I don't know. Let's just cheers and drink the beer, and then we'll
just
sign
drink
off.
the beer. It's been a minute.
It's been a little bit. It's
been
a pretty busy past few months for Steve.
Yeah, I got married and I had a honeymoon
with planning,
moved into a new house
and whatnot, and yeah,
all during coronavirus. So it's been a weirred time.
Yeah, which we're actually in a new space right now.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
It looks really nice. Maybe we'll post some pictures of it. Who knows?
I'll post. We can post something.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's try this beer again.
All right.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes, down the 101 hatch again.
Ooh, yeah. That was good.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was about to say it doesn't taste as sweet anymore, and then the sweetness kicked in.
Yeah, I just
time.
got like a huge hit of maple at the end there.
Yeah. Such a good beer.
Yeah. I think this is where we normally say.
This is where we normally say.
You're Justin. I'm Jesse Titus.
So pretend like we added that here.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening, you guys. We'll catch you next week.
Yep. Sounds good.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-da.